My name is Lauren Laverty, and this is my studio. Why don't you come on in, I'll show you around a little bit. See what we got here. I'm about 3 years old here, painting in my underwear, unself-conscious, painting with abandon on an antique buggy seat for a desk. Best time of my young life before the hammer fell. When we were young, my little brother and I competed in a local art contest. The contest was to draw a copy of Santa Claus from a Coca-Cola ad. His was much better than mine. I can still picture it. And the reality of talent reared its ugly head. My mom saved his drawing. I have no idea what happened to mine. You know, in truth, I never really planned to be an artist after my brother bested me in that Draw a Santa contest. And my father threatened me with bodily harm and loss of financial security if I went ahead to try being an artist. And for a while, I believed him. In reality, those sentiments my father was expressing about art had more to do with him and his situation than me and mine. My father abandoned a career in commercial art for the sake of having a family. His papers and family snapshots are peppered with his efforts. There's also an Andrew Loomis-inspired profile of my mother in pencil, piles of illustrations for home remodeling projects, and photos of family celebrations often include a poster he created announcing the event. He revered and collected original art from comic greats such as Fred Harmon, Al Williamson, and Hal Foster. He worked as an estimator for Michigan Bell Telephone all his life. These drawings from my kindergarten unit on occupations don't include the job artist, unless you count the figure labeled MF. My 6-year-old left no additional notes as to the career depicted as MF, but the costume and makeup seems closest to my current concept of what it means to be an artist. Writer is also not depicted as an occupation in the drawings, and I went on to that to please my family. In the 1980s, I was hanging on to journalism, but the need to make art was still surfacing. And this is kind of how that showed up. 1981 October issue of Minneapolis St. Paul magazine, I profiled 6 neon sculpture light artists from that city, Kurt Marcheski, Brad Jurka, some other folks. Also in that magazine, as it would happen, I surveyed the fall gallery scene and talked about who was showing where and what for that season. Also in the 1980s, I wrote for Fine Woodworking magazine. This article details a unique method for making signage, graphics with sandblast equipment. So it was clear I was thinking about art and I could write about art. The question I had for myself was, can I be the one making the art? Starting in 1974, I gave in to primal urges and took a sculpture class at Oakland Community College in Detroit, Michigan. Then I found classes I wanted to take further and further from home. By the time I got to Tucson in 1982, I had lost a wife, gained a girlfriend and a son, who was taking photography classes at the University of Arizona. However, my first love was furniture. I had Tay Frid, John Dunnigan, and Bob Trotman as mentors and wished to follow their path.
I had a studio at 19 East Toole in Tucson, where I completed several pieces, but eventually branched out to something closer to sculpture.
This series of animated pull toys combine found objects with welded steel armatures. They represent a break with the furniture making, desire to make work that's somewhat playful, yet challenging as well. The titles all reference Michael Martin Murphy's song, Geronimo's Cadillac, my effort to question the extremes of cultural appropriation.
This temporary public art project, erected in Encanto Park in Phoenix in 2005, is one of several I've been privileged to complete that included collaboration with area youth at risk. This work, which is on the wind, featured drawings by child victims of domestic violence. I was also able to collaborate with 10 area youth on a freestanding sculpture at Jacinto Park in Tucson. That was in 1998.
Eventually, I was recommended for inclusion in Dinnerware Gallery, an artist cooperative that had gallery space on Congress Street from 1979 to 2003. This sample of my work was shown in 2017 at a commemorative show called Dinnerware Artists Today at the Temple Gallery in Tucson. This pile of sketchbooks represents, pretty much my entire art career from about 1979 to the present, and they're connected by one common thread. One, technical progress. Mostly, the work gets better, and two, variety. Charcoal. And pencil will give way to maybe pastel, and pastel gives way maybe to collage and watercolor. Collage and watercolor it gives way to, literally, seriously, roofing tar, Dimar varnish over photo transfers, and, I don't know, so there's some acrylic paint, there's oil paint, pretty much whatever I can get my hands on. Certainly Sumi ink enters into it quite a bit. I don't believe sketchbooks should be coffee table masterpieces. None of my sketchbooks hit that level. They're for experimentation. There's no archival quality. They're just collections of where I needed to go and what I needed to look at before I went to a larger sample. That's my philosophy about sketchbooks. I know everybody's got their own way of looking at it. That's mine. I'm currently working on a series of portraits, something I like to refer to as men trying on hats. The work's about the confusing process of male identity and the effort to come up with a good fit, at least by the time we're dead. The pieces are titled The people are titled as chapters from a book based on the supposed age of the person depicted. For instance, this piece, titled Chapter 480, depicts a man aged 40. He's trying out a Russian kokoshnik. This gentleman, who's titled Chapter 210, thinks a baby bonnet might be his best choice. I've always been attracted to the opportunity to reuse, remake, restore, make use of, and the book covers are a good example of that. I adore the surface that you get from some of these covers. I finish them often with clear gesso, but I've tried some other choices as well, including satin glazing liquid and so forth. I don't have a lot of concern about the archival nature or lack of for the substrate. Nothing's going to be around forever. Nothing. Over here on the shelf, I've got an example of where the work's going next. At this point now, the adults have sort of disappeared, I suppose, and the work is focused solely on portraits of babies, babies in situations of distress, crying, upset, and they're all painted on ticking fabric, found, used, mattress fabric. I collect it from all over. I have a huge trove. And the work is about what it looks like to grow up under situations of trauma and difficulty. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed yourself. Tried to give you a brief look of my life as an artist and what that career has meant to me. I've had a great time. I wouldn't trade it for the world and hope to be doing it for many more years to come. If you'd like to see more of my work or purchase an earlier variation of the Men Trying On Hats series, you can go to my website. It's laurenlaverty.com. There you can also sign up for my email newsletter, which will keep you current on my exhibition schedule, and see other bodies of work I've recently completed. You can also follow me on Instagram and Facebook. The links are in the comments below. Thanks. Have a great day.